Guys, it's over. Gina Carano and Disney settled. What's up, all me Ewoks, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as Star Wars Girl. And if you guys are new to my channel, hello, welcome. We got a lot to talk about today with this settlement between Gina Carano and Disney, because they did her dirty, and even though they settled, I don't think they should get away with it. Now, the news dropped this past Thursday, and everyone was talking about it, losing their minds over it. It was trending. It was all over the internet. And I just made a tweet kind of giving my initial thought on the entire situation, and it absolutely blew up with over 5.2 million views, over 100,000 likes, and it got people talking. Now, all I said was whatever was in those emails were so bad, Disney would rather apologize to Gina Carano and pay rather than reveal them to the public. Let that sink in. And I saw some people saying like, whoa, what emails? Well, if you guys haven't been following the trial, and maybe you're not from America and you don't know how our legal system works. Well, so what was going on was Gina was suing Disney for not only defamation, but for wrongfully firing her for political views, which here in the state of California, which is where Disney is located, which is where Gina was fired, we have a law here in the state of California that says you're not allowed to fire someone based on their political opinions and ideology. So that was created, I believe it was back in like the 60s, and it was to protect Democrats. I don't know exactly because I don't follow politics, but I know that that was a big, part of the case, and, Disney was kind of shitting their pants a little bit about that. But so this is back from the last time we had any information that was released from the trial, and it was basically what Disney did was they submitted an appeal, so that way they could, just say to the judge, hey, this is like a BS case, basically. Basically, Gina doesn't have a case. Let's submit this appeal so that way the court will say, a judge will look at it and they'll be like, oh yeah, this is kind of BS. This is not worth our time. Like, Gina doesn't have a case, and then they throw it out. And guess what? The judge said, no, Gina does have a case. We are moving forward. And the next step in the United States legal system is this thing called discovery. And what happens in discovery? Guess what? You got to show all those receipts. Now, in case you forgot, back when Gina was initially fired, the Daily Wire stepped up and they said, hey, Disney just canceled you. We'll hire you and we'll start a 3-movie contract with you. And Gina did this big interview with Ben Shapiro. I will link it down below. I'm not going to play the video for you. You guys can go and watch it yourself. It's been up there for 4 years. Also, I don't know what's going on with the Daily Wire. I don't want to repost their content and possibly get flagged. I don't think that they would do that, but just in case, I'm not going to. But in this interview, she talks about some of the email change that she was in and how they basically wanted to bully her and have her do like a Zoom meeting or with 50 people that were just going to scream at her over this, the beep bop boop. So again, for those that don't know the backstory, Gina was getting bullied by psychos on Twitter trying to force her to put pronouns in her bio. I'm not kidding. They were literally trying to bully her into submission. Gina called them out on it, and they still were like, no, you have to do this or else we're not going to stop. And they hid behind the terminology like, oh, we're not trolls, we're not bullies, we're just trying to educate you because you're so simple-minded and ignorant. This is why you need to have pronouns in your bio or we're going to harass you until the end of time. And Gina called that out, and of course, they don't like that. So naturally, they lost their minds when she put beep bop boop in her profile, and they started screaming to high heavens, she's making fun of trans people! Which, of course, we all know is not the case, and this is so simple, even Forrest Gump would understand. Take that in mind. These people are so stupid, they make Forrest Gump look like Albert Einstein. They even tried pulling up, you need to talk to Pedro because he's woke and has a trans sibling and he can educate you. And Gina clapped back with like, yeah, I talked to him and I'm not going to be bullied into it, and I'm against bullying. And because of that, calling out their bullying, trying to force her into something that she didn't want to do, of course, she's the embodiment of all evil. So they went on this witch hunt to attack Gina and go after her. And it finally came down to she shared this post on her Instagram story about how the people during World War II, how the Nazis were able to manipulate people to turn against the Jews. And she shared this on her Instagram, and that became, oh, she's comparing Republicans and Donald Trump to Jews during the Holocaust, which, again, this is something so simple even Forrest Gump could understand. This is not the case. But unfortunately, the average IQ of the person on Twitter is Honestly, I don't even think it's double digits anymore. I think we're down to like single digit IQs based on my own experience dealing with idiots on Twitter, let alone the millions that Gina was dealing with. And so people actually pointed out, they're like, hey, you're calling her a Nazi and a transphobe for literally sharing a post that she didn't create the post. She's sharing the post. And guess what? The Auschwitz Museum, like the Auschwitz Memorial Museum, literally posted the exact same thing or something extremely similar about the entire concept that Gina was talking about. And they're not going and calling the Auschwitz Museum a Nazi, right? But even though they're sharing literally the same sentiments, Gina, this post literally just highlights, don't let media and the government and propaganda turn you against your neighbor. That's all the post, that's the moral of the story of what the post was. But these people were after blood. They wanted to destroy Gina, so they said that she was basically a Nazi and she's the embodiment of all evil. She's attacking trans people. She needs to go. Now that leads us back to the case. So what happened was Disney did all of these awful things to Gina, which she talked about in this interview. You guys can go and watch it and hear the things that she had to say about how it was people, calling her every name under the sun. There was this whole fraction at Lucasfilm that hated her, that wanted her to apologize, that wanted to basically have a little struggle session Zoom meeting where it was 40 people screaming at her. And she said, no, I'll take 10 of you guys out to dinner. You can look me in my eye and, say what you want to my face. And none of them took her up on that because they're all cowards that hide behind a keyboard. We all know, what Pablo Hidalgo, remember what he did with Star Wars Theory? Remember that? Yeah, those are the kind of people that she had to deal with. And I've talked to Gina personally, in real life. I had a conversation with her about this entire thing. She's really good friends with, my old friend Drunk 3PO. And so he introduced us and, had a full-on conversation with her. And she told me more of some of the stuff that went on behind the scenes, which is awful. And so back when this announcement was made that, hey, guess what? The judge said, no, Disney, you guys did do something wrong. We're going to this thing called discovery. And discovery means they have to show all the receipts. So every single email, every correspondence, every shred of evidence, they have to show it to the lawyers for both, obviously their lawyers have probably already seen it, but to Gina's lawyers. And all of this would have come out in court. And Gina has kind of commented on the subject. She said, the truth shall set you free. And that was right before all of the news headlines dropped. And then she did this rather long post about it. She said, I have come to an agreement with Disney, Lucasfilm, and she tagged them, which I believe is the best outcome for all parties involved. I hope this brings some healing to the force. I want to extend my deepest, most heartfelt gratitude to Elon Musk, a man I've never met who did this good Samaritan deed for me in funding my lawsuit. Thank you to Mr. Musk and X for backing my case and asking for nothing in return. To my lawyers at I don't know how to say this. There you guys go. Who walked me through this unknown territory. Thank you for your wisdom and your guidance. I am humbled and grateful to God for his love and grace in this outcome. I'd like to thank you all, you all for your unrelenting support throughout my life and career. You've been the heartbeat that has kept my story alive. I hope to make you proud. I am excited to flip the page and move on to the next chapter. My desires remain in the arts, which is where I hope you will join me, heart. Yes, I'm smiling. From my heart to yours, Gina. Then she followed up with this post, which was just kind of like a heartfelt thank you about everything that she's been through, and she appreciates the support and that she's excited to get on with her life and back in shape. Now, there is still a lot of controversy on whether or not Gina did the right thing by settling, and in my opinion, I think she must have gotten an offer that she couldn't refuse, considering the fact that she had Elon Musk backing her and they were about to go all the way with it. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, and I don't want to, put her in an awkward situation by, asking her, which I could do. She does follow me. I have her phone number. I could text her and ask her, but based on her post, she's done, and she wants to move on with her life, and I'm going to respect that. Whether I agree with her decision or not, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I do think it would have been cool to see, Disney actually held accountable and, taken all the way and all of those receipts to get out. Who knows, maybe that is part of the deal, that they do still have to release some things, or maybe she's going to get her own movie. I don't know, but this is the outcome that we have. And so whether I agree with it or not, it doesn't matter. This is what Gina decided, and that's what happened. And it's not my place or anyone else's place to tell Gina what to do. Of course, we are all entitled to our opinion, but at the end of the day, this is the outcome that we have. So all we can do now is, look forward to the future and see what's going to come out. Like, what was that, offer that just Gina couldn't refuse? Is she going to have some kind of executive position at Disney or at Lucasfilm? Is she going to get to reprise her role as Cara Dune? Is that Rangers of the New Republic show that she was supposed to be the head of, is that ever going to get out? Is that going to come out? Is that going to get made? She did make a big point in her post to say that she lost 50 pounds and she's getting back in shape. Was that so that way she could get back into acting and reprise her role as Cara Dune? I don't know. All I know is that the next few weeks and months are going to be really interesting to see what's going to come out of Disney and Lucasfilm. And the fact that they apologized or that they acknowledged that she didn't do anything wrong is huge. Whether you like it or not, whether you're happy with the outcome or not, the fact that they were backed into a corner and had to, come out with the tail between their legs and say, oh yeah, Gina Carano did nothing wrong, we're really happy for her, and all of that stuff, which we all know. They're seething inside that they got put in this position. But you know what? They did it to themselves. So I'm interested to see what we have in the future. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching this video. I hope you guys found it informative. If you did, please smash the like button. And if you didn't, that's okay. Thank you so much for watching this far through. If you guys did watch the entire video, please leave a comment saying MVP so I know you guys made it all the way to the end of the video. You guys are totally MVPs, and I appreciate every single one of you. And if you guys are new to my channel, again, welcome. If you haven't yet subscribed, please smash the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Make sure that that bell is set to all, that we actually get notifications when I post videos and when I do live streams. I do a live stream every week here on my channel on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's called That Star Wars Girl Live, and I talk about all like the current topics that are going on in pop culture, so it's a lot of fun. Make sure you're subscribed and ring that bell so that way you guys don't miss it. And guys, until next time, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.